Well, I think this might be one of the more sadder podcasts that we've ever had.
It's been a
Unfortunately,
horrible weekend of football.
unfortunately, the GOAT has announced his retirement from professional wrestling, John Cena. To think he's the GOAT of wrestling, but I've never seen him wrestle. What a sad day. Anyway, you know what else happened on the weekend, right? Is the fact that the team's won.
I would love to go back and figure out when the last time this happened was. I don't know when it was. Maybe we had it earlier this year. I don't know. But, but suddenly all is good in the world.
Life is complete.
This is a very some happy, happy boys today, I would think. This could go back to like Glass Table 2023 where we just talk about the round. It's
I hope you're ready for 90 minutes. Yeah,
yeah.
man. I hope you're ready for 90 minutes. Because, yeah, life could be a dream, Jared. Da-na-na, da-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Oh, it's just you driving down the road with your Saints car, and I've got my Pearmobile just na 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 na.
Paradise from above.
Uh, I got a message for Sydney before we get into this as well. Not everyone can beat the Saints at Marble. Anyway, cue the smashing.
That's the play of the game. That is the play of the game. The impossible angle, and he puts it through. And Portland. Danger, 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 danger. Butler, 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 Butler. Get around him! Get around him! Edge of the seat.
Jared Thomas, episode 52. We're back, baby.
We are. Absolutely, we are. I was going to say it's 52, but it's like kind of not really 53, but our version of our Glass Table episode last week was our card opening. So it's like a 52 of this format, 53 of like just GT related stuff in the weeks that we've done them.
I mean, if you want to count things, you could throw in previews for Port Saints games and I don't know, other things that we haven't released. Content, people. Get your
Contests.
head out of the gutters.
Exactly. But no, I mean, I was just more talking about the fact that the length of that card video is about the length of one of these. So probably checks out in some way.
It's funny that you mentioned the card video because it is in my notes in the intro. Obviously, last week we spent the weekend together watching our team suck. That was the week before, though.
Yes.
And obviously, yeah, if you haven't seen it, the footy cards video that is out. We unpacked the full box, picked out best 18, and it was really, really fun. And
It
we'd like
was.
to shout out AFL team coach
Yes.
who are just fans.
With our now fans have commented on our reel and follow us now on Instagram. I would also like to shout out the guy that we bought it from at the news agency that was telling us they weren't getting bought very much this year. And I was like, I feel bad for you. I'm just going to buy the whole box.
Yeah. You know, the funny thing is, I reckon business is booming now.
Yeah. All right. We've set the agency up the wazoo. If anyone's been to that Springvale South news agency in the last week, I didn't get the guy's name that served us, but shout the guy out and buy a box. Buy a box of packs.
This is what it can get you.
Looks as
And this is what it also can get you.
Oh, he's got it ready. He's got his
Oh,
cash,
it's on
cash
top.
in hand. Yep.
It's on top. Letting it simmer with a bit more value because, you know, Butters is booming at the moment.
I have on top of my one the Caleb Strong Best and Fairest gold card, which is quite nice.
Yeah, hot.
Yeah.
All right, nice. But no, go check it out. Vote in our teams. So by the time this comes out, we'll have a poll out.
Yes, it'll be out. the morning before this comes out, so this matters to absolutely nobody that is watching right now because it's already going to be out there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but if you're watching this and you haven't seen the poll,
go back and say which one you like more.
yeah, that way, so next week I can brag to the fact that I win.
Yeah.
A week, a
Someone
week
had
of
already
review.
commented on the link to the video, I think, being like, Ants team wins, and I was like, sick. I haven't even put the poll up yet, and I've already got a vote against me. Like, what a way to start.
Look, it probably was my burner account, really. One of my socials. Anyway, before we get into what was a pretty damn good round of footy, we're not going to talk about round by round again because we'll be here for days.
Mhm.
But just wanted to say, Gather Round has been announced
It did, yes, absolutely.
April 10th to 13th. And the one thing I wanted to say, because obviously we'll be a town, I'm assuming you're going to try and come over next year.
The crack, absolutely.
Um, the funny thing is, like we mentioned about like a couple of weeks ago, the Virgin Mark of the Year, Goal of the Year type of thing, and the frequent flyer points that you
Yes.
get. You might need all of them to come over to Gather Round because the prices
It's
for this,
fucked, eh?
I mean, like even my mum and dad are charging me extra. Like that's how that's how big this is gone. Like it's like they ramped up the dates and it's like,
Oh,
and it's just, I think they'll pull it back a little bit because the backlash from it all,
yes.
there'll be a lot more packages and stuff, but man, people coming from interstate, you're going to have to fork out a fortune. Imagine like supporting North or something. Actually, no, they won. Sorry. Imagine supporting West
Sydney.
Coast. How's the scale on that one?
I can own this over
Sydney.
a week now.
But yeah, no, a lot of money is going to have to be forked out to come over for Gather Round.
Well, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of driving for particularly people in Victoria. Probably WA can afford the drive. New South Wales and Queensland get a little bit harder. But I feel like there's going to be a lot of cars on the road. I remember when I went. Obviously, I couldn't go this year, but the year before when I drove, there was that many fucking cars because I was coming up the Thursday. There was that many cars on the road that all had like footy scarves hanging out of their cars and stuff, which is actually a pretty cool thing to see. But like, God, the fucking traffic, man, going into SA. Usually, it's like I don't see a car for like 100 kilometers. That day, it was like bumper to bumper as I'm going through Bordertown, and I'm like, it's gonna be pretty similar vibes. Get a feel the petrol prices are gonna go up. Yeah, the flight prices are ridiculous. I don't know how they can get away with it. Like, I get it's a supply and demand thing, but like, it's ridiculous how much they push these prices up. Like, if you don't guess the dates beforehand, like people just guess the dates half the time. They're like, fuck it, it might be this weekend. I don't know.
It might actually be cheaper to replace your flights
Yeah. Just book them
than
for any
actually.
time in April. Book them for any time early April, and then just see if you can replace them later on, and it'll probably be cheap.
Well, the thing is, it's like I'm pretty sure it's the week before Easter. So
Yes.
like if you can, it's always the week after or the week before Easter. So if you can narrow it down,
Narrow down to one of the two. Or
you've
if
got
you
two
can buy
options.
both and then you can get a refund. Like if you do that, if you can like put a refund on your flight, then do that too. There you go. Here's some tips from the guys' table. Buy both weekends around Easter and then a refund one of your flights. It's big brain.
Or just don't come. Like
Yeah, or not.
I mean,
Yeah, or just work from home. I don't know.
we don't want you. Well, I don't want you. Like it's fine. Don't come. No, we want you. South Australia needs you.
The tourism sector is struggling. All the other weekends that aren't gather round weekends.
Do you know what's funny? Like our tourism sector. I don't know why we're talking about this, but
Yeah, we're getting serious.
our slogan for South Australia is "Come down south." Like that's just you have so much to play with.
I also think it's really funny that it's not even the southernmost state. Like,
Yeah, we're advertising for Tassie. Peter Malan, ask us. You entrepreneur, you. Anyway, let's gather around for you. So we'll see you there next year, April. Round 17. I'll read out the ladder because we're going to do a run home in a second of who makes the 8 with 7 rounds to play.
Yes.
I'm going to rattle these off for you. So it's Sydney, Carlton, Freo, Essendon, Geelong, Port, the Lions, the Giants. That's your top 8. Just outside is Collingwood, Melbourne, the Dogs, Suns, Hawthorn, St Kilda, Adelaide, West Coast, North, and Richmond. The round that was, and in particular the results, I think, that played out, and I'm talking Essendon beating Collingwood. I'm talking St Kilda beating Sydney. I'm talking GWS coming from, I think, 10 goals back. Well, it wasn't 10 goals. Felt like 10 goals back.
Yeah.
To come back and win. Port beating the Dogs. Like all of these, and then the D's obviously getting their job done. But all of these results had a massive effect on how this is currently looking. I can't believe this round of footy. Like I'm dead set sitting here going, that is one of the better rounds of footy we've had, I reckon, in a long time.
There's some results where you look at it, you're like, that seems about right. Like Freo smacking Richmond there, fair enough. Melbourne smacking the Eagles here, fair enough. Brisbane overpowering Adelaide, fair enough. Probably closer than they would have liked, but probably still fair enough. And then like you said, there's some fucking results here where you look at it and you're like, what is that? like what has happened to have all of this happen in the one round? It's just from the very start of the weekend, like as soon as you saw Essendon beat Collingwood, you're like, this could be a special round of football. There could be some good stuff.
The one I forgot to mention, and the one that I thoroughly enjoyed the most out of any result, Essendon Collingwood, good game. Port obviously winning. St Kilda, Sydney was outrageous. But North Melbourne beating Gold Coast at Marvel, and Gold Coast playing away and still not winning is by far the funniest thing ever. And Dimmer post game is like, we dead set need to request 22 home games for us to be any chance. His post game was partly me going, right, I absolutely love the raw emotion, and like he's a mentor, so he knows exactly what's going on, and that's how a real coach is thinking, and emotional wise is showing that. The other part of me is like, that's really funny. Like you, like I really love the fact that you just know your team can't travel, and you know you have to improve it, but you're not going to change it this year. Let me tell you that for free. It's not changing.
It was the funniest result, and like I think the quote that he's going around, and I'm surprised I haven't seen anything like he got fined for his actions or whatever. But the fact that he just says in his outright press conference, "We need to grow the fuck up," is really funny. Like I just love how he's just like, I don't care what I get fined here. I'm saying it to the media. You could quote me on it. Grow the fuck up. And I'm like, that is so good. And I remember like when I saw that game, I was like, firstly, North vs Gold Coast screams Tassie game. I can't believe it was at Marvel. Secondly,
Yeah.
Secondly, I remember looking at that game in the fixture being like, if North ever needed a win, this is probably the chance. But also, if the Suns ever needed a win from away from home, this was definitely the chance. And so when the game was really close in the last quarter, I was like, yeah, this checks out actually. Like this seems about right. So I think it makes the upset less like surprising, because it's like it kind of checks out a little bit. Like Gold Coast fucking suck anywhere that isn't whatever they call their stadium these days. And North were building. Like the last few weeks, they were like, ever since the West Coast game, they've just been building and building and building to this point. And then they did it finally. And it's like, all right, now they can just chill. They got their win. They did what they had to do. And now they've got like a relatively okay run. They play the Eagles and the Tigers in the next few rounds. Like they're a chance to just keep themselves off the bottom of that ladder for a little bit longer.
I know. It's like Richmond are almost, Richmond have been very prolific this year, I think. They haven't been a team to get smashed, but you compare their form to, I think West Coast were okay in patches. North, obviously fit and firing. Like Richmond are a very good chance to win that spoon, which is tough to say.
Bizarre. And that's also, I would like to know, this is going to be my research tomorrow. I would like to know the last time a team that finished like 18th, like that team that finished the year 18th, beat a team that finished first. Because I think Sydney's going to finish on top still, and I think Richmond's going to finish on the bottom. I would like to know the last time that a team that finished in 18th beat the team that finished first at some point in the year. I can't think of the last one in my head right now. Like there's been some good upsets over the years, like West Coast beating Collingwood that year at Marvel. Collingwood didn't finish top, but they were good. Like just things like that. I'd like to know it, like when the last time was, because it's looking that way for sure.
It'd be interesting because I reckon some of those results would be sort of on the, I don't know how to put it, like a team 18th and a team first, but it's played in round 2.
Yeah, that's what I was
kind of
thinking.
thing.
Like, yeah, like an early season, no one really knows what's going on. Like, even like that Sydney Richmond game, that was like round like 5, round 6. Like, Sydney were good, but they weren't what they are now, kind of thing. Or I should have said what they were 2 weeks ago. But like, it'd just be interesting to see. But yeah, it was a bizarre round of football. Like, fucking strange.
Before we get into a couple of other things, I wanted to go back on the dimmer thing because I reckon coaches now are just starting to show a bit more.
Yeah,
Like they talk about umpires
yeah,
and everything like that, and like comments on that. A few things over the weekend I just noticed that I think, I would love to see more from the coaches. Saw Dimmer swearing in a press conference. Like, I would love to see someone just lose it. I mean, take me back to Luke Beveridge days.
yeah.
Um, the runner giving away 50 in the GWS Carlton game, and you just look at Adam
Kingsley
Kingsley as he's run
just
off, and
fucking
he is dead eye. Like,
Kingsley
you've got to
was
be kidding
fucking
me.
pissed. He was looking at this sort of his eye, just didn't even say a word to him, just like as he
Yeah,
watches him run past, I was like, oh boy.
you're not running next week, Chief. Um, talk about like when Butters came off on the weekend and Ken Hinkley literally told him to just like sit there and shut the fuck up because
Yeah,
he was complaining about what happened to him with liver. And it's like seeing those little emotions in every bit of coach is like, I don't know, it shows that they're more than just, oh, we're here for wins and losses,
adds a lot.
1 week at a time, lad, type of thing.
Yeah, it adds a lot. And like I love when a coach gets animated. Like I hate when they're just kind of boring. And like in the obviously the Saints City game, John Longmire, I saw a tweet today. John Longmire is the king of screaming into that old phone. It cut to him so many times in the box, just fucking hurling abuse down the phone. And I was like, yes, John. Like that's what we like to see. Just start abusing people down the phone. Like do it, please. It's so good.
Reminds me of Choco Williams in the '04 Granny. And he's just yelling into the phone and just starts slamming because it's not working.
Just fucking bang, bang, bang.
I heard it actually wasn't working. And they tested it before the game started. And he used the same phone anyway. Imagine as a coach, you've got a serious message you got to put down, and this thing's just going, beep.
Like,
There's no life in the.
ah!
He's resuscitating the phone. It's just wild. Completely on the opposite side of things of the coaches. I saw Tony Shaw's comment about Craig McRae today.
Yes.
Just show me some sort of anger.
Yeah. Anything at all.
And I don't know how to put it, but I don't know why. And I think this is the wrestling person in me. It's like Craig McRae is the Firefly Funhouse, and his anger side, if it ever came out, was the Fiend. As an obscure reference for people that will watch this, but I think if he ever got angry,
it would be
it would be
beyond
horrific.
anything. It would be beyond anything any coach has shown at all this year. Like if I saw Craig McRae angry once, I think it would terrify me for the rest of my life. Maybe that's what Collingwood need, like a kick up the arse. They just need Craig McRae to fucking lose it. Yeah, the Fiend. They just need Craig McRae to fucking lose it one day, and it would just bring so much joy to everybody.
Just imagine the team meeting. It's like it's pitch black and the lights start showcasing everywhere.
It's just let me in, like just fucking
that piano in the background. Fuck, that'd be freaky.
Oh, gross.
Before we do the run home,
yes,
St Kilda. I think we should talk about our personal
yes,
teams a little bit, personal touch to the glass table.
of course.
Talk us through, what you're feeling, man, because it's pretty fresh.
If there was a camera on me in that second half of Saints Swans game, firstly my heart rate got up to 126. Right, so that's saying something at the minimum. Me and Mum were at home. I had work until 3, so I wasn't going to be able to make it in. And so me and Mum have parked ourselves on the couch and said, "All right, we're just going to sit. We're going to watch it. No matter what happens, we're just going to see how we go." And when when he gets kicked that goal, about 4 minutes to go in the third to put us a goal down, I shit you not, I nearly jumped through the floor. I was like, holy shit, we're actually a fucking sniff here. And then Heaney kicks those two, and I was like, all right, I didn't need that, but that's fine. All good. And then slowly and fucking surely we were building our way in, and Mum's got to feed the dogs. And we've kicked the goal to go 9 points down. Remember, he kicks that goal, and I was like, hang the fuck on. This isn't going to happen, is it? We were down 30 points with 6.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. And then We kicked in front with half a quarter to go, and we just fucking held it. We were like, we're not doing anything. We're just holding it. Nothing sums that up more than at one point the ball goes out the boundary line, like a minute and a half left, and Tim Membry and Cooper Sharman look at each other, look in the back line, and just fucking bolt. Like, have never run faster in their lives to get down there. And then, yeah, just bumbles around for however long. That fucking Marshall bounce nearly sent me through my window.
Oh,
Nearly fucking sent me through my window. I was getting genuine Vietnam flashbacks. I was like, I don't know what's going to happen here. And then Logan McDonald. Can we talk about Logan McDonald for a little bit?
is there a richer player in the AFL that can't kick a winning goal?
Holy shit, right? Like, I feel, okay. I feel bad for the guy, right?
Oh,
Because,
absolutely.
like, last week wasn't his fault. Like, he had to take that shot. Like, he took the mark right before the siren. Like, it was always going to be him. This week, right? As much as I respect the balls to be like, I fucked it up last week, I want to make it right. As much as I respect that, the fact is he takes the mark, points, and then turns his back to goal. John Longmire, after he missed that, would have been. I wish
Yeah.
they cut to him because he would have been. Oh, he would have fucking lost the plot. Like, as much as you want to be the hero and like save it after everything last week, the fact that he just said, "Oh yeah, go back," and then walked back like without even caring about any of the other forwards. Oh,
I
spicy.
don't know. See, I don't think he should be too angry because he's paid to do that. Like
Yeah.
any other time of the day, you take the mark, you kick the goal,
Yeah.
and he hit it as well as he could have. It just
Oh yeah, I
drifted.
thought it was in. Yeah, I fully fucking thought it was in.
That last second, it just drifted ever so slightly to miss, and I was like, and I had that Marshall bounce. Just back to that, the whole play for
Liam.
that to and Marshall just before that, I'm pretty sure was in like on the half forward flank on the other side, and
Yeah.
he's pushed across, and he's made himself. He put himself in the moment. I was hoping he'd kick it for fantasy reasons, but and I see it, and I see it swinging, and I'm like, holy shit, he's gonna kick it. I nearly fucking celebrated, and then it just bounced, and it didn't even go through for a
Didn't go
point.
through a point.
This thing went around,
Yeah.
and I was like, at first thought was, yeah, that's grand final days. Then I was thinking that's the opposite of Monfreeze. And I
Mhm.
was just like, this is absurd. That last 10 minutes of that game to lead up to that McDonald moment, and it deserved the grandstand finish.
Yep.
Not going to lie, deserved it. The fact that he missed that after missing the shot last week, getting a contract, and then doing it again. And really funny that he does it in a way where it's like, all right, I've got no contract. I'm going to
Yeah.
miss. Now I've got a contract.
Now I don't
I'm also
care.
going to miss.
Yeah.
It's
It
funny
was-
as well because he did it like he missed it at the end of the financial year, and now he missed it again in the new financial year. But all credit, like obviously, it's not something that you want to be
No.
feeling.
No, I mean, like, I feel bad for him, but it's also like I feel like some of the Sydney forwards would be pretty upset with him. The fact that he just basically said, fuck you all, I'm going to do this, and then he didn't. Very funny. The thing about the game, like, that was the most incredible thing for me is that so many players had their best games either ever or in a very long time. Matthias Filippo decided that he wanted to be a footballer and fucking have one of the greatest last quarters I've ever seen. Dougal Howard played his best game in about 4 years. He was fucking incredible. Cal Wilkie does that every week. He's fine. Roel Marshall does that every week. He's fine. Jack Steele had a really good last quarter. Naz was good. Sinclair was good. Ryan Burns was good. Like, it was just these players just popping up there. Like, we can win this game. Like, we can do it. Liam Henry sparked our third quarter comeback. Like, fucking bizarre. And it was one of those games where every single player like had to play their best game, otherwise we were going to win.
Yeah.
And it just happened that it happened that way. Incredible. Like,
But that's the thing. Like you're playing the best side.
Yeah.
Best side in the comp. Where we all thought it was the one off last week. So like this week you're coming in, everyone's thinking, all right, Sydney going to bounce back. No worries. You have to play your best game of footy to win this game.
oh,
They did it. Like and the fact that you did to them what they normally do to teams is,
get on tear.
yeah, that's,
Yeah. Yep.
you're human.
They are. They're very, very much human. I was saying like a little bit earlier, we have kind of figured out the blueprint, and Freo did the same thing, figured out the blueprint of just constantly fucking pressure. I'm like, they can have the ball and they will get the ball because they have a very good midfield. But as long as you make sure that their decision making is down to like 0.5 of a second, you will get the ball back. Because when they're under pressure, and like Errol Gordon had a lot of the footy, but really early on, his kicking efficiency was dreadful because he just didn't have a lot of time and he kept kicking it to us. That's why Cal Wilkie took like fucking 40 intercept marks because they just kept kicking it to him. And it was like, maybe there's a blueprint to beating the Swans here that they also need to figure out that other teams have done. Like I was talking before, a thing about the Swans that I think might go wrong for him a little bit is that specifically Chad Warner, and I love Chad Warner. Like we know how much I love Chad Warner. He gets a little bit showboaty, and he gets a little bit when he gets the ball like on the wing, he kind of stops a bit, thinks he has too much time, like takes a bounce with one hand, picks it up the same hand, like does a little fancy handball, whatever. Use your pace, man. Like you are fucking quick. Just run out of the stoppage. Don't fuck around with it, kind of thing. He got done holding the ball. He got a gang tackle in like with like 6.5 minutes to go in the third, and he got smashed. And he's just laying on the ground laughing about it, like, oh, what a funny time. And then they lost. Like they were up 5 goals at the time. When he gets this tackle, instead of being like, fuck, like I should be better, he's just laying on the ground laughing, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, all right, at the time, that's funny. Now you look back and you're like, shit, that was kind of a turning point in the game. I think the Swans got too complacent and they have the last couple of weeks. And if teams can continue to capitalize on that and if the Swans don't change it, they're in trouble.
I'll counter that
Yep.
with one thing.
Yep.
Play North Melbourne next week.
What a way to change it.
I don't think it'd be a smashing, but
No.
it's just, and I said this to you off air, it's like there's a bit of, I don't, every team goes on a streak. Eventually it comes to an end. There's a bit of Port about it.
Yeah.
You know, Port won 13 in a row last year. They got that loss, the unexpected loss it was Carlton at the time, and it was a convincing loss.
Yeah.
Obviously, last week the Swans loss to Freo was not convincing enough to say, all right, well, maybe there's something to worry about. But this, to me, is the one that you go, righto, you've just lost to 15th place team away from home in a position where you were 5 goals up. If that's not, I don't want to ring the alarm bells because, you know, they've got a quality outfit and I'm sure they'll rein it back in. Every team has these little lapses in the season. But I think the one thing for me that concerns is when their forward line is under pressure and is not converting when they do have the chances. They had 27 scoring shots today. Like it's still an amount.
They had the chance to do it. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. But when Logan McDonald's missing, when Marty's not kicking goals, Papley kicked one out in the full late. Like it's, if you put enough pressure on their forward line, you can kick a winning score. Because I think the way they've kicked goals throughout the whole year is like they've had momentum.
Yep. And
like I think even against the Saints, they never really had that momentum. They had that quick spurt in the second quarter, but once you stop that momentum and sort of wrestling it back, we saw it against Freo as well. They don't get a run on. And they feel that pressure, and you actually make them think about not like they have to kick a goal instead of they're just kicking goals.
Yep.
That's a massive mental tick for the opposition, and we've seen the last 2 weeks. So I think you talk about figuring Sydney out and the showboating. There's been a lot of arrogance about Sydney this year, both from outside the club, inside the club, fans, and it's good. Like don't get me wrong, that's completely fine.
Yeah.
You have the right to do that.
Very good.
Like, I wish I had that. Like, it's getting a win against the Dogs is sensational. St Kilda winning their 6th of the year is sensational.
Yep.
But like, when you get to a point where you can put the pressure on them, every club feels that pressure in moments. And Sydney haven't really had that until the last couple of weeks, where I think they're starting to feel that.
Yeah, well, I think there's other games this weekend as well that show the point I'm about to prove is that AFL specifically, like most sports are this way, but I think AFL specifically is the most momentum-based sport in the world. If a team can get a run on, they are on. And like, if the only way that you are ever going to get a chance is if you could just put a stop to it. With Sydney, if they kick 2 in a row, they start to fly. If you can just stop them, like if they can kick a goal and you can just get one back and just constantly just go back and forth, Freo did it last week. If you can just constantly just at least go back and forth with them, they will struggle to get that run on because momentum is such a big thing in sport. It's so big in what Sydney do in terms of their counter attack, in terms of their burst out of the middle. Their midfielders get the confidence from their momentum runs and like them being able to move forward and stuff like that. Like you said, there was that run in the second quarter where they got on that momentous run, but it got stopped. Like we did enough to just stop it dead and be like, right, reset. We were pretty lucky that halftime came when it did.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Because
We
fuck,
stopped it. No, the time did.
yeah, we were worried. But the fact is that Sydney, and this is mostly like it happened in Essendon Collingwood as well. Like when a team gets a run on, the momentum is such a fucking big thing. Giants Carlton was the biggest example of that. Blues had all the momentum in the first quarter. Then from there, the Giants stopped it and had every bit of momentum for the entire second and third, and the Blues couldn't stop it, and that's how they ended up winning. Like it is the most momentum-based sport in the world. And so Sydney have found a way to weaponize it to the point where they can be like, we will kick 5 and 6 in 6 minutes kind of thing. And then basically just hold a team out forever. And like, everyone talks about their first quarter struggles. And again, they had the same thing. They only kicked 2 goals or whatever in this game. But like they've learned to weaponize the momentum. So I think teams now have the thing in their mind of, oh, if we can just stop that, stop them from kicking just 2 in a row. Like if they kick 2 in a row, like stop the third, teams that get that confidence back because Sydney kind of lose confidence every time a team stops what they're doing. And it's interesting now. It's a very interesting side of Sydney to see how they bounce back from it. Because I still think they're the best in the league, obviously. But they've now got a lot of questions to ask where they're going to get to the club on Monday and instead of being like all happy, like, oh, boys, top of the ladder, they're going to be like, fuck, we got a little bit to work. Like a little bit to work on a little bit. Like, let's get to work.
Yeah. And for me, right now, I think it's brought the whole top 8, top 10, top 12, the whole run home
Was a lot more
segue.
Yep.
The whole thing is just wide open. And
before you segue, I was going to ask, I need to get your opinions on the Port game. I know you didn't watch it live, but firstly, I need your opinion on your game and then the Port game because I know they happened at the same time. So I need that before we jump into our run home, I suppose.
Oh, well, do you want to know about my game and then Port as well, do you?
Yeah, we'll do both.
Well, Sposs lost, so it was a bit unfortunate. But that's okay. We had the team we lost to only lost by 3 goals compared to earlier in the year, we lost by 100 and whatever. So, massive turnaround. Unfortunately, didn't get the job done. But that's okay. Life happens, Every team doesn't get that job done. A bit like the Dogs, they had the opportunity. They lost it. Port are going to win. Port are going to win the flag. We're winning the flag. We're going to be the first team ever where we boo our coach in a premiership year. Like that is just dead set. What's going to happen? And I would not think of a better fairy tale story.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was where this was going to end up. That was a smashing. I was driving home from being away, and I remember like we pulled into a Macca's, and I was like, let me just quickly check the footy scores, and Port, it was like 60-17, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what just happened out there? Like I knew it was like Adelaide and stuff. And I was like, okay, like I didn't think it was going to be a smashing by the Dogs, but I thought the Dogs were going to win. And then I looked at the score, and I was like, right, okay, now my whole fucking perception of what the top 8 looks like is just blown out the window.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to be anywhere anymore. I think I'm going to have to wait till the last week of the. I would like to go back on my early season predictions to see what I did because I don't know. I don't know anything anymore.
It was a bit surprising. I got told in the change rooms afterwards. I hadn't had a chance. Like in the warm up, I got the opportunity to watch the first 5 or 10 minutes of the game. And we kicked a couple of goals. I was like, oh, terrific! It's going to be one of those positive starts, and then fumble it. But we didn't. We kept going. It was a 4-quarter performance, and that's what is most pleasing. So you go from a terrible, ugly win last week against the Saints, and you put in a full, complete 4-quarter performance where you looked good as well. I still don't know where we stand, but
it's the glimmer of hope. It's the little shiny that just kind of tickles the back of your brain. Like maybe we're okay. Maybe we're gonna be all right.
It's the funny thing is that you see Rosie have 36, Butters 33, Wines had 30. Georgia's kicked 5. Unfortunately, got a week, but like it's just those little things.
Yeah.
And when they start to click, we'll find out next week against the Gold Coast when we travel up there. Maybe Ken Eakley will say fuck in the press conference.
That is a test.
Yeah, if we win that, then
Lids off.
Stop me.
Yeah.
Just stop me. But we'll do the run home,
Yeah.
and I think ours might be a little different. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. It's too hard.
It's
But
so about 13 teams it could be in there.
yeah, no, quite literally
No.
13 teams. I think Hawthorn's loss on the weekend rules them out now officially, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah.
But the way I've gone is I think 14 games is going to get you in.
That's fucking imagine like winning 13 in a year and not making finals. I would be furious. I'd be like, that is some fucking bullshit. Like,
Especially the way that the season and the comp works about equalization and traveling and everything like that. If you're a team sitting there 13-9 with a decent percentage and you finish ninth,
I'd be furious. I would
give me
be.
the wild card round.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bring in the wild cards. Why don't you?
I
This
don't
is
want that.
no. Last year I remember like there was a lot about how like every team from like 6th through to 13th was like could get in the spot. I think it's even wider than that. I think every team from 5th, even 4th maybe, down to like 12th or 13th is pretty much interchangeable on any given day. Any of those teams could beat any of the other teams depending on where it's at, who's feeling good, what coach is under pressure, like just weird shit. And it's bizarre to watch. And like Saints Swans proves that. Like we were 15th, Swans are first. Like Bombers, Pies, the Cats just deciding to just dominate the Hawks. Like the Hawks have a lot of form. The Cats have decided to hit form now. The Giants beating the Blues. Like, fuck, it's gonna be weird. We might have a little bit different, but I don't know. I suppose we'll see how we go.
Just to let you know as well, from second, so Carlton, all the way down to Melbourne in 10th, separated by 2 games.
Stupid.
Crazy. Crazy. And then you have the Dogs, Suns, and Hawks who are a game behind that. So
Yeah.
from essentially, yeah, from Brisbane down to Hawthorn, it's within 6 points. Like it's mental, these mathematical equations.
Yeah.
But no, we can do our top 8. Who we're going to think are going to make it from here. So round 17, 7 rounds to go. Give me your top 8.
All right. We'll start from the bottom, I suppose. So I've got a few teams like missing that like as of last week, basically, I would have put in there. An example of that is the Dogs. I would have had them in if it wasn't for the fact they got thumped by Port, and now all of a sudden they're just flying out of my equation. I probably wouldn't have even had the Giants in there, but I do now. They're in 8th. I think it was the Giants or the Lions that were my 8th spot. And oh, that's interesting. That has never
Well, Giants. Congratulations on making
Congratulations on making the top 8.
That's just a weekly occurrence now.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I didn't even know you could do that one. So no, I've got the Giants. The Giants are in 8th in place to the Lions because I think that win against the Blues was big. I have the Dons in 7th. I was thinking in the last couple of weeks, I'm like, maybe they fall out now, but that win against the Pies was very appealing. I then have Port in 6th.
Oh, that's so funny.
I know. Have you got them in 6th too, I'm going to assume?
No, it's the fact that we play the Dons and we have to keep their record.
Yeah, that's true.
We would have so many fans.
Oh yeah, there'd be so many people there. I then have the Cats in 5th, and then I have the Pies in 4th, Freo 3rd, Blues 2nd, Swans 1st.
Wow.
Yeah, so Pies.
Collingwood in 4th.
Yeah, I still think the Pies are really, really good. And I think they're going to have a moment kind of like Carlton did last year where they're going to kind of come out of this game, kind of like get together and be like, right, we are the reigning premiers. I think this needs to happen. I think Collingwood are way too good to just sort of mingle around that 5th, 6th spot. I think they will be pushing so hard. They always have so many fans of their games. Like they, I think, are too good to late in the season fall off more than they have. I think they're only going to improve. I'm going to put it in 4th.
Interesting.
Mm.
Collingwood's run home. The Cats at the G, the Hawks at the G, Tigers at the G, the Blues at the G, the Swans at the G, the SC kind, the Lions at the G, and the D's at the G.
So
They have one more game away from the MCG.
it's a tough run, like teams wise, Absolutely, it's a tough run. But that only helps my case of if they win most of those, they will then knock the likes of, if they beat the Blues at the G, that kind of knocks them down a peg. They beat the Cats at the G, that knocks them down a peg. Like, they win those games, and they're all games that will impact where they end up on the like. They're not just like other than the Richmond one there. Other than that one, all the other ones are like teams that are in sort of the fight for the same spots as them, kind of falling lower. And so I think the Pies win most of them. I think they're good enough to do that. And yeah, I think the Pies go fourth.
I have them missing.
Wow.
Mm.
I would love to hear your top eight.
I think, and this is where it comes to the fact that, in my opinion, 14 games gets you in. You've got to remember there's 23 games in a year, so it adds an extra game.
Yep.
They only win 4 of those on the run home,
Okay.
in my opinion. 4 out of the next 7 is still a good form base.
Yeah.
But this is what I mean by I'm talking about, you're missing your opportunity. And like you said, like getting to the end of the year, you win 13 games and you miss it. So my top 8 is I have the Giants in 8th as well. Doesn't work for me. I have the Lions in 7th.
Yep.
I have Port in 6th. I have the Cats in 5th.
Okay.
I have Essendon in 4th.
Yeah, all right. That's okay. I see.
I think their run home is pretty good too. I'll give you Essendon's run home because I think they are. We talk about moments, then you just mentioned it. Then, like how that Carlton have a moment. Essendon had a moment last week against Collingwood. Like they've just had that moment. Though, right? We are actually good enough. We can do this. So their run home is the D's next week at the G. They play the Crows at Marvel, the Saints at Marvel, Freo at the MCG. They play Gold Coast at Marvel, which is a win. Golf.
Pencil that
Sydney
one.
at Marvel, Brisbane at Marvel. Okay, take it back. They probably have a little bit harder run than I thought. But it's games like the Dockers, the games Saints, Adelaide, D's, Suns. 5 wins. They're currently sitting at 10.5. That gets them 15.5 wins. But that's top 4. That's how close everything is. They get in.
Yep.
And again, then got Freo in 3rd.
Yep.
Carlton, and then the Swans. I don't like it because
I hate looking at mine too. It's not a thing I like at all.
I think it's maybe because I don't think it's final.
No.
And there's teams like Freo I still don't trust. I don't trust anyone from 3rd to 11th.
No.
I don't trust them. Like I don't trust Port. Like for me to put it in there, it's like I borderline faith more than hope, more than actually a commitment to it. But it's based on previous thing. We think on previous form, we think on previous games played and everything like that. So there is a lot to play out. But right now,
like that's my thing with the Dons is that I think I've been burnt too many times by their very poor back ends of the seasons to the point now where I'm I know they've just had a very good week against Collingwood. Like I completely get that. I have been burnt so many times. Like last year, Essendon probably could have played finals last year, and then they nearly lost to North. They got absolutely murdered by the Giants. They had these games where they should have, I think of those ones you come home, and this is probably just me speaking just as a Saints fan. I think the Saints could beat the Bombers at Marvel. I think that is a gettable win. Obviously earlier in the year was very different teams, but that game is so still up in the air for the Bombers, where it's kind of a danger game in that if they lose that, they're kind of fucked because they play Marvel well, but so do the Saints, and they need to make sure if they're going to be a top 4 team, they need to make sure that they are not just scraping past sides like us. They need to be putting us to the sword, and they haven't had a game really where they've put a team to the sword aggressively kind of thing.
I don't know, but I think it's the way the comp is at the moment that you don't necessarily need to do that. If you can get the points at the end of the day, it'll be games like that where they struggle. If they get the job done against the Saints at Marvel, you compare it to the Sydney couldn't get the job done at Marvel. It's crazy to think that now we sit here and we see teams get pumped. It's like the Port Dogs game. It's far out. You got Like that's not you got. I partly that's getting outbeaten, but that's also the fact that mentally you're not 100% committed to the cause at the moment, and that's why the Dogs get so much shit thrown at them because they're not all there.
They jump back and forth from good to shit more often than any other
Dogs
team.
bad, dogs good.
Dogs
Like
bad, dogs good.
it's just it's crazy to me, and that's why from the comp is so close, and I think Essendon, in my opinion, make the top four because every team from third to 12th or 13th, they just trip over each other.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You could lose to any team in that bracket any given day. You could lose to teams lower. Like it's fucking weird.
Like if I look at next week without giving a full preview of it, the Hawks play Freo in Tassie.
That could go anywhere. That game could
Like-
literally go anywhere.
If that was at the MCG, Freo winning by 5 or 6 goals. The
Yep.
fact that it's in Tassie,
No idea.
I've got no clue. Like it's just crazy to me that we sit here right now, and I have the premiers of last year out of the 8, and I have a team like Essendon in the top 4.
Yeah. Like you look at every result, like most ones actually. So Collingwood Cats, literally anywhere. Hawks Freo the same. Even Dogs Carlton, like Dogs play well at Marvel, and especially their home games, they play really well there. Like they use the ground really well. Crows Saints could go anywhere. Not that that was going to impact the final series. D's Bombers could go anywhere. Suns Port could go anywhere. Like it's fucking weird. And it's just like, I don't know who's going to win. It's basically just thrown at a dartboard now to figure out which team's going to win. Home ground means nothing anymore. It's just whatever. Like, just get out there, unless you're Gold Coast. But like everyone else is just like, whatever, figure it out. It's going to be a very fun run home, I think. And it made that this middle part of the year, which is usually really boring, it's going to make it pretty fun because anything can go anywhere.
It's one of the rare things where it's like, I hate being a team a part of that because it's like I'm on edge every single week. For me, I sit here as a supporter. I'm sure everyone that's in the fight for the top 8. I'm sorry in advance, but you had a good win today. You can settle it's fine. But like as a supporter that sits here in the fight for that top 8, it's finally settled in now where it's like shit. We have this run home.
Yeah.
You start comparing everyone else's. You start throwing in the numbers, the percentages, and you're doing the ladder predictor on a Monday morning when you get to work, and then on a Friday morning. That's games haven't even started yet, but you're having different feelings about different things, and it's the most stressful, the most hated part of the year, but the most special part of the year because it's like this is where everything gets interesting, and yeah, it's shit, really.
Hey, I'm fine. We're not making finals now, so I'm like, if we can just pull off a couple of scalps to the teams higher than us, like I saw a thing today where it was like, if the Saints are the team that like fucks over Carlton in the last round of the year, like who's going to be the player to do it? And someone was like, step on up, Ryan Burns, and it's just like, I'm excited to be the team that teams come into the games being like, please don't fucking lose. Like, if we lose, we're fucked. And the Saints are just walking in like carefree, like, whatever. Like, let's just see how we go. That was what today was. We didn't give a shit. We were like, it's a Sunday at Marvel. We may as well just walk in against the, potential premiers and see how we go. We won. So it's like, see what happens.
I'm so glad we won last week.
That was a danger game. You lost that, you're in trouble. But look at that.
Points win games, Jared. Points win games.
Not if you're Sydney, apparently.
Like I said before, some of us can beat St Kilda at Marble. Some of us. Around the glass table. We'll change of tune. This is where the podcast will derail. I have no doubt about it. From this point on, we've had our serious footy chat.
And our good footy chat, yeah.
Jared finally came up with a good question for people to answer this week, which is good. So,
hey, I come up with good questions. It just depends on whether people answer.
Don't blame the people.
I'm blaming the people. We had a lot of answers this week, though, so we're feeling good.
Of course, always blaming everyone else but yourself.
Yes.
Life could be a dream. What was the question this week?
Question this week was, who's the best player to come from your local area/suburb? And then I just used 2 photos of the best players that were going for each team that night because it makes sense. Not that they have any relation to where I'm from.
I can't believe where you're from produced Nick Dacos and Zach Merritt.
I know, right? Crazy. What was your one first? You talk about your one first.
It's funny because I always resonate to go straight to the footy club
Yeah,
that's around the corner. But, I wouldn't know who's lived in my suburb,
that's
nor
fair.
do I care really. But I'll rattle off a couple, like the Menzel boys.
Yep.
Um, Shane Edwards was the big one. Obviously the Premiership star from Richmond, current player as well that's out there. Just had a Jack Graham, completely blank from me. I used to play school footy with Jack Graham at the same school as him, was a year below me.
There you go.
Mm. You learn everything from me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, looked up to you as his mentor.
Yeah, when he tagged Rory Sloane that grand final day back in 2017, he just remembered back to the school footy days a few years before where I would run amok and lay down back and kick up forward, and nothing's changed really.
Those were the days.
Yeah, but a few people come from Golden Grove, and it's not the biggest of profile names, but I like to call them the hard workers. They're the heart and soul of the clubs,
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Reminds me of me type of thing. But anyway, what were some of yours? Hmm.
Derail before I got there. Yeah, I have different I suppose I have like different things about like what I consider like local area. So if like we're talking like the team that I play for, like in local footy, we've had the most sort of notable one, and then it's not many, but the most notable one is Nathan Freeman for his 2 games, and then obviously it was the top 10 pick at the time, and then hamstring injuries just derailed everything. But he's got like a special place in the heart because after everything decided to come back, he was averaging like 35 touches in the VFL and said, fuck that, and I'm going to go play back at Dingley. So he plays at Dingley again. We also had Cam Paulson, Blues legend, 2018 Blues legend, Cam Paulson coming from Dingley. So yeah, Dingley was interesting. We had a few others drafted that never really played. In terms of school footy, we had Tom Lamb, who played a little bit, and now he's playing at like East Brighton back here, kicking 9 every week, so that's whatever. We also had the late great Harley Ballick, played a few games for Freo in Melbourne. Unfortunately passed away a few years ago, but he was also went to my school. And then in terms of just like local area, that's where it gets a bit better for me. We get to Noble Park, which like has created some very, very good players over time. Adam Treloar, the Morwood brothers that were in the Pies flags all those years ago, Glenn Archer's from around here, like a few very big names from this sort of local area that like really helped out a lot. We also had Jackson Sketcher, who was on season 2 of The Recruit. So cop that, everybody. But a few little ones from around here, which is very nice. But yeah, no one not quite Nick Dacos was accurate.
It's really funny because I forgot about that, and you mentioned it last week
Yeah.
when you took me on the tour of great players to play in the suburb, in Noble Park. Just looking at the names on the board, and I've completely forgotten about that until now. So that's very good. Oh, we should get one of the recruits on, like Yowie Wagner.
Yeah, I was gonna say Matty Eagles. Get one of the boys.
Yeah. Well, not even a winner, just one of those ones that are on there.
One that went out like the first round. So that doesn't really matter.
I really enjoyed that show.
It was so good.
They should bring it back.
Love it. Yeah, but like the fact they got an actual spot on the list is such reality show bullshit. It's so funny. Like I'm like, how is that even allowed?
But this is the thing. It can work because Matty Eagles played games.
Actually played games, which is bizarre. Like so fucking weird that he actually
and
played.
he was not bad.
He was okay. He was good in the fucking quaffle. Like he was actually good. Like he played very well. I'm pretty sure he won a flag in that league.
Yeah, like this is good. Bring it back. I say bring the recruit back.
Bring it back. Absolutely. Foxwood.
But like you can do reality show type spec, but like do Survivor. It with like draft picks. Survivor.
Do it like Survivor. They vote each other out.
Nah, better yet, make it like Big Brother.
Yes.
So they're all sitting around in the same house. And they all have like little relationships and stuff. They're little cult groups that sit in the corner. Like you've got all the midfielders together.
I was going to say it's like the SA boys. The SA boys are just the Victoria boys. It's like it's. And
then there's just the one ruckman who has to feed them all.
And he's like
But
the
he's
most
not just
likable
feeding
guy.
him taps.
He's the most likable guy in the whole team, though. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be good.
If you're watching Fox,
Please, please take our ideas. You don't even have to pay us. Like, just do it. Like, yeah,
I would really like a commentator survivor.
that would be good. Matty Hill would dominate.
Don't even get me started. The AFL post about percentage of people who have their favorite. Like, show the man some appreciation.
Yeah, give him some.
Anyway, who gave us some responses, Jared?
A few here. We got one from Marcus that says Zach Butters. That's a pretty good one. Keeping on the Port trade, we had one from Nicholas that said Robbie Gray from Burwood East, which isn't too far from here, but I wouldn't exactly call it my area. but some pretty good ones for you anyway. Well, there you go. You know, Butters and Gray.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's fantastic. Someone said Bergman from Hampton Rover as well.
Yes, that is right by me. We used to play against the Rovers. I was fully convinced he was going to come play for St Kilda because he was in Victoria for a really long time last year, and he was in the rooms of a Dingley game, like an under 19s Dingley game after the game one day, and I remember getting a message being like, "Yeah, Miles Bergman was in our rooms," and I was like, "What? What? Why?" But yeah, both the Bergman boys, like they were both from Randy. They were not, whatever. But like, yeah, Miles Bergman was around. Hampton Rover is not far from here at all. So yeah, similar vibes to me. Yeah.
We can't touch him. So simple as that.
Too late now.
No, you cannot touch 2023 Stupid Sexy nominee Miles Bergman. Anyway, who else is on the list?
Well, we got here, the Noble Park area. There's obviously the ones I said before, Glenn Archer, Darren Mullane, David Neitz. They're three pretty big ones. They are like the classic, like 90s, 2000s footballers. Darren Mullane, David Neitz, Glenn Archer, like just fucking units. Like just big dudes. And like, yeah, like Darren Mullane is a legend around here. His name was on the board as well when we were looking at it the other day, along with Jackson Sketcher and Adam Trelaw, which all fits together so nicely. But yeah, that's all sort of around here as well. I also really loved Olivia's, which just said myself.
Yes, I was just about to say. And then she followed up with like Tristan Cherry
I like that one though. That's a good one.
and Blitzarves.
Yep.
So you've got Cherry, Blitzarves, and Olivia.
Very big names.
Yeah. I
Any
mean,
others?
I should have said it myself as well. I really like Jordan's, which said Fraser Brown, which is really obscure for me. 177 game and a premiership player for Carlton from Lilydale.
Lilydale is, I don't know anything about Lilydale. All I know is that when I get on the train and I'm coming home, the lady over the train thing tells me that if I want to get off at South Yarra, I can get on the Lilydale train. And that's all I know. That's all I know about Lilydale. So now I know that Fraser Brown is from there too.
It's just
Bizarre.
that's very funny.
But no, there's other ones. The boy from Bendigo, Joel Selwood, South Barton, Tom Stewart. There's a lot of those around Geelong. Like I was gonna say, some of the Geelong ones are very niche because like half Geelong's team came from fucking like the Geelong League's Div 2 reserves. Like it's like they just pull players out of everywhere. So there's like the whole Geelong team is around that kind of spec.
Every time I hear Barwon, I just see a Todd from
Todd
Barwon
from Barwon
Heads.
Heads. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't resonate with Geelong.
No. I just know it as Todd from Barwon Heads.
Like even sometimes at work, I'll get a call and someone will call in and it will say Barwon Heads, and I'm like, please be Todd. Please be. Imagine he just calls in and pranks me. Like, what the fuck?
Gotta make you feel good.
He never would cancel his subscription. I'll do anything to Todd from Barwon Heads.
He's a legend.
Build a statue for him.
Oh yeah.
I think, is there any others you want to?
Well, there's Isaac Keeler. He's an SA boy. And he's our one of our projects in the Sandy Zebs. Him and Max Heath are two guys that I would love to see play for us at some point in the next 5 or 6 weeks. But Isaac Keeler is currently dominating the VFL, so I like the confidence there from Rex that he will be, and I respect that because I really like the way Isaac Killer goes about it, and I'm hoping too, Rex, that one day Isaac Killer is that guy. Please be that guy.
Hope he's a killer player. Ah,
See the wheels turning.
I was so proud of that. Anyway,
Very good.
shall we continue on?
Yes, let's continue.
That was around the glass table. Well done, Jared, for coming up with a good question for once.
Fuck you. I always come up with good questions. People just need to respond to them. I'm blaming all the people again. Maybe I'll just put Dacos and Merritt in the front of all.
Huh. No. You know what? I really do appreciate the people listening, because every person that we get that listens is a stop. I can't look down the camera, deliver this message to the people, and just see you going cross-eyed like fucking having a stroke.
As I'm like,
putting your ear to the thing. No, anyway. But well done, Jared. Very good stuff. Thank you everyone for answering, and I just really enjoy when you put out good content, because it's, sometimes it's niche, but it's good. And seeing it firsthand last week was really, really good. So well done on the stupid sexy job.
I was wondering what you were gonna like. I actually fully thought you were just gonna completely pull it out from under me and not say it at all and be like, I think that's a show.
It crossed my mind. But then I've know that everyone literally watches this show for this segment.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really excited about mine. So yeah.
Yeah.
Should we just get straight into
it? Would you like to go first?
No, I'm going to do the cue thing first, and then I'll play it.
Okay.
Stupid sexy
JFL players.
All right, so this week's episode for Stupid Sexy is going to be an absolute ripper, and I'm so much looking forward to this one. So let's do it. And you know what? For a change, I'm going to do first.
Good. I like it.
Because I've been so excited about this, let me tell you. And it's going to catch you off guard.
Oh, I'm so excited.
It's going to be great. Now, earlier in the week, obviously, Gather Round was announced, and I could say many things about Gather Round. It's a fantastic thing. It's really, really exciting. Everyone coming from all states gather round and be a part of a special atmosphere.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of different people, various supporters from all around the country. The fact is, though, it's in our state. It's in my state, which is even better. So when we hear about things like, oh, I should have gone to Sydney, and shouldn't have gone to Sydney, or should have gone to Perth, blah, blah, blah. The one man that's always stuck constant for this state is Peter Malinauskas. And let me tell you, he is one stupid, sexy state premier, right? And the fact of the matter is, when he came out and said it would be dog shit for it to go to Sydney, I'm voting for him again when it comes to time. But let me tell you, the man is also a Port Adelaide supporter, so it's even better. He oozes appeal. And I'm very satisfied with this selection, because not only does a man stand up for what he believes in, he also supports Port, and he's my state's premier.
I don't even think I know what Peter Malinauskas looks like. Oh, shit.
Oh no, look it up. It is gorgeous.
Oh, that's very funny. Oh yeah, no, you were right. You caught me off guard. When you said the first bit, I thought you were going to say Andrew Dillon, which would have been funny too. But
God no, he's in my bad books.
Fuck that guy. That's very funny. I can't exactly say our state premier because I'll get cancelled because it's a woman. But but I respect the fact that you've gone the state premier. That shows leadership, and that shows that the class table isn't always just about footy. It's about politics too.
Yeah, it's the first time we've ventured into a politician era, but I think the best way to do it is just base their looks, and he
Straight
is
into it. Just not about any.
It's not the, you know,
It's not about the actual
it's
political
the
party.
nature of Peter Malinowskis that really
Yeah.
just gets to me. You know, he stands up for himself. Like nothing better than a man standing up for himself, Jared.
Never in my wildest years did I think that 52 episodes into this podcast would be introducing state premiers into the stupid sexy program.
Told you, I'm in my moments era. Yeah, that's why I was so excited. I think we need to bring back a bit of. We're talking about state of origin too, so state pride. You know, like bring that
Yeah,
back.
I like it. I like it. No, that's good.
All right, what's
Oh,
yours?
unfortunately, I don't exactly have a state premier picked. I am I am going back into the world of AFL footballers.
Not many state premiers to pick from, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But
Politician week.
mine. It's going to get taken out of context because I was going to say mine, and then you right after you said politician week and said that. Christ. Oh.
It's not only that, you sounded like the seagulls from Nemo.
Mine. Mine.
Mine. Pelleman Askus is mine. Anyway,
mine is sort of, it was probably moments
mine.
like okay.
So sorry. I've derailed myself.
You got it out.
Yep.
Oh gosh. Oh shit.
You can continue on.
I was gonna say what I've picked is probably based on, it's probably like a moment's error thing as well, or it's a thing that has, it was born from a moment, we'll say, and that moment happened at say roughly 4:35 today. This moment when the Saints are down and out, not down and out. The Saints are, down a bit. The goals are hard to come by. And then a nice man on the wing in a long sleeve comes in to the middle and decides, I'm going to take the game by the balls and I'm going to win this. I don't know whether it was the long sleeves. I don't know whether it was the curly blonde hair. But Liam Henry, you, my friend, are a stupid, stupid sexy man. And I was waiting for so long for this man to come into the team and like be who he is and do what he needs to do. And he has done it. And I'm like, Liam, yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
Huh. Yeah. And he was wearing a long sleeve too. That was very, very impressive.
The long sleeve, the hair, the fact that we were actually playing okay when he came in the middle. I don't know what it was. It was all of it, I think, that combined. And I was a very happy boy.
Yeah. I'm really, really glad you're happy. I'm trying to really hold everything in right now because I feel like I just, yeah, good picks.
Great picks.
I really think we ticked off everything capable of really good footy chat to just absolute nonsense.
To rating Premier's sexiness.
Just the one, actually.
Again, if I did mine, I'd get cancelled. So we're just going to avoid it.
So much aura about Peter Manascus.
Had a mouthful of beer. Nearly went everywhere. Oh shit. Oh.
That is just going to be the clip. I want his attention. I want him to see he's respected and admired. We can do Liam Henry too. That's fine. I'm happy to do it. I'll edit the extra clip. I don't care. But
We're happy to just do the Malayaskas. That's good. I'm good with that.
that's yeah. What an episode 52 this has been.
What a way to end.
Lucky we didn't do what we were going to do.
It would be here for a while.
Anyway, it's been a pleasure. Hope your team finds yourself a good run home.
Yes.
And yeah, we look forward to talking about it all again next week.
I know. I was going to say by this time next week, our entire top eights that we would have picked will have been gone. And I'm sure mine will look completely different. To all the teams within 3rd to 13th, good luck. Have fun. I hope this year doesn't
They're not
hurt.
going on a field trip.
Good luck. Have fun for the rest of the year. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. I'm sure you'll lose to us at some point. That'll be fun. Because I know how much St Kilda hurts everybody. I saw enough Swans fans' responses today to realize that losing St Kilda really strikes a nerve with a lot of people. So,
don't know what that's like.
I was gonna say again, wouldn't know, but yeah, good luck to everybody in there, especially Port fans as well. Good luck. I hope that all goes okay.
Good luck to me, Peter Madalaskas, and the whole football cohort that supports Port Adelaide.
I was trying to think of other like celebrity fans. Good luck, Koshi.
Hugh Jackman, your movie's coming out soon, I'm sure. Hugh Sheridan as well, who used to be on Pack to the Rafters.
Yep. I don't know anymore. No, Guy Sebastian's Adelaide, never mind. Yeah.
Put a video out about a few years ago now, I think, with Port Adelaide celebrities, so I'll have to give that a watch back.
Go get a watch.
Plug that one.
As the plug. Pop that one up on the screen.
Yeah. Do you know what else I'm going to do?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pull the plug.